In this video, we'll discuss step 5 in the ATEM Resolve software tutorial. If you take your SSD that you recorded the files on and load it into your computer, for example, I've taken the disk we used to make the last tutorial, and here it shows. I've called it SanDisk 3. And if you open that, you'll see a series of files that the ATEM writes. There's a folder that has the audio files in it. There's a folder that contains all the video ISO files from the 4 cameras that we inputted into the ATEM. It has a database file that controls the actual program. And then there's an MPEG-4 that actually contains the program output from your ATEM switcher, and I'll play that in a minute so you can see it. And then there's a small file that's called a DRP, which is a DaVinci Resolve project file, because we saved the project, and we'll use this to actually load the project. So it's a series of 5 files. If you look at the MPEG-4 that the ATEM Mini actually creates, I'm going to open it now. So this is the file that records all the outputs from the ATEM Mini for the program. Turn the volume down and I'll scroll through that. So you can see this is what goes to the SSD. As I scroll through that, it has all of the changes that we made by pressing, selecting the input button. So let's say you didn't make any mistakes and you have what you want. You can just use this. You don't have to change anything. So this is what's recorded on the ATEM Mini under the program output. So what you want to do with these files, you want to take this entire folder. I want to take the ATEM tutorial folder and I want to copy that. And you want to copy it to some place on your system that is the central repository for your Resolve files, for your video files. You don't want to leave this on the SSD because these SSDs get put here and put there. So I keep all my files on a network attached storage. You can just make it on a large hard drive where you have a lot of space. I have my network attached storage stores all my Resolve files, and I've created a folder there and copied these into the ATEM testbed tutorial. So now I know where all our files are. This is important because if you lose track of where your master files are, it's a pain in the neck to have to go hunting for where they are. So when I look at my ATEM testbed, I've already copied it into that folder, the ATEM tutorial. So all those files are in this folder. Okay, now what you do, if you need to install DaVinci Resolve, the software, you download that. Hopefully you've already done that in step 1 and 2. And now you have DaVinci Resolve on your computer. And it's a free software. It's a very professional editing system. It doesn't cost anything. You can download it for free. And then when you open it, it opens up into the last project that you had. So I've created a blank project here and loaded it. I've started DaVinci Resolve, and when it starts, it loads the last project. So there's the project. So now you have a blank project. So the way to actually load the project that you've just done is you go down to the project manager. That's this house here, you load the project manager, and that comes up with all of your projects. You won't have any, but I have all of my Resolve projects are in here, and all to load your project, all you have to do is come down to the import. You import that new project, and you go to where the project is. Now, I'm going to go to the SSD, just so you get a sense of this, so you can see that. We'll go into the ATEM tutorial, and here's the DaVinci Resolve project file. It's only 7 megabytes. It's a small file, but that contains all of the information of all of your switches. So I go ahead and I load that and open it. And then when it's loaded, it lists it here. Copy of ATEM tutorial. Now I have the project. This is where we are in what's called the cut page. This is the icon for the cut page. And if I take the slider, I can go through this, and it actually is the project that we recorded with the ATEM Mini with all of the switches that we made as we pressed those buttons. So if you're very happy with the switches that your assistant has made, you don't need to do anything. You're done. But typically you'll want to change these, change the views. And the way you do that is, remember, the ATEM made copies of all the 4 inputs, that went into the switcher. And those are in what's called the ISO folder. I'm going to go back to that folder on the SSD. And now you'll see the power of this, all 4 videos. If I open up the ISO files that the ATEM recorded, you can see there are 4 recordings. Let's go ahead and play each one. These are database files. You don't have to worry about those. These are the actual MPEG-4s that the ATEM recorded from all of the inputs. So this is camera number 1. When I double click on that, it loads it. This is the full recording from camera 1, which I now have access to. I can scroll through it. This is camera 2. I now have access to all these files, all that video. These are all MPEG-4s. The third one, which was the monitor output that showed what I'm doing on the switcher. And then the last camera, which was the camera in front of me on the monitor. So I have access to all of those. And where those are in Resolve. Those are in the ISO folder. So when I double click on the ISO folder, here they are. They're all right here, and I can select them all. And here's where the magic occurs. I can sync all of these up. In Resolve, there's a selection here that says Sync Clips. It'll take all of what has been recorded and sync them up. So I'll go ahead and sync. And now it's syncing them. It can sync them by any number of devices, by audio, by start and stop, by time code. So these are now all synced together. And then I come down here and you save the sync. So now they are all synced together. And I can actually bring up what's called a sync bin. That's this selection here. And what does it do? It brings all the inputs all synced together. So as I scroll through this, they're all synced together. So now I can cut and paste any synced video file. For example, if I'm in the timeline, and let's say I'm here, I'll scroll through it, and I want to show reaching over there. All I have to do that, let's say I want to show my hand right there. I bring up the sync bin, and that view is right here. I can take that view, and right where my cursor is, I can bring that view, and it just writes it over. So I think you can see how powerful this is, because I have all 4 outputs. So I'm sitting there, it goes to this, then I go back to this. So I hope you're getting some sense of how valuable it is to have ISO recordings of all the inputs, and then you can mix and match because of the sync bin. You come to your sync bin, I have everything synced up here. Okay, so this is kind of an introduction. There's a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to use Resolve. This is not designed to teach you how to use Resolve, but it is designed to give you a sense of the power of this, especially when you're using it to train your staff for efficient ergonomics. I'll give a little example of that just in a clinical sense, and when you see it, you'll have a better understanding of how we actually did this. So here's a clinical example of how we actually use this in our office. So this is a project file that I've loaded from treating a patient. And if you look at the monitor that Joy can see, she's got all of the inputs that go into this switcher. My switcher is right here. And Joy is looking at all of the inputs. I've got 8 different inputs. There's the program out. And so this is what Joy has recorded in the project. But let's say I wanted to change that. What I would do is I would open up into the ISO that contains all 8 inputs from the camera. I've already synced them up. And so I just go to my sync bin, and here they all are. Now, if I want to change something, I can go to any camera at any point. As I move along the timeline, it changes it. So this is very, very powerful. And I can paint in any camera in any point along the timeline. So it's very, very powerful. For example, this is the project that I actually posted on TDO chat. I had all the different views: cart monitor view, clinical picture from the camera. This was all created in DaVinci Resolve. You can show how well your case presentation is. Little soreness from the shot, and sometimes if you get a little tender, if you have any trouble, you can call. Okay. And I'll see you in a month. And the next visit is really easy. I just take the old stuff out, do my little millimeter preparation. Much simpler. This is the tough one? This was the tough one. Okay. Well, not tough, critical. This is the critical one. Well, it's not supposed to be tough for me, you know. But it's tough for you, but it's not supposed to be tough for me.
I'll say it to you more like ballet stars.
She's the secret of my success, but I don't want anyone to know. So I'm hoping some of you can see the power of this. And when you take multiple angles and review with your assistant of how you're actually working together, to say nothing about the power in presenting to peer groups or your colleagues, there's really nothing like this happening in endodontics that I'm aware of. So I'd like TDOers to really start to take advantage of this and really not only educate their staffs and bring their staffs into this environment, but also your colleagues, showing you that what you can really do if you really pay attention to a lot of the details. So I hope this was helpful.